listening and very impressed with all these wonderful entrepreneurial women from the Bangladeshi community. And it's a great honor for me to be an honored guest as well. For 20 years, I've represented one of the largest South Asian American populations in New York, 8 years in the City Council, and now 12 years in the State Assembly. Many of the people who call my district home are members of the Bangladeshi diaspora. They came here seeking the American dream, and they have embodied it with their success. In my time in office, I have listened to their community's concerns, shared in their successes, and I am committed to continuing to advocate for their priorities in Albany, along with my colleagues who are here, Jennifer Rajkumar and Nikki Salaj. One of the most important laws that I ever sponsored and I'm most proud of, which took me about 10 years to get it passed, but it finally became law about 2 or 3 years ago, and that's the religious garb law, which would prohibit discrimination in all employment, public or private, and would basically prohibit discrimination in hiring and promotion for wearing religious garb or facial hair for religious reasons. And it's a very important bill to the Muslim community because of women who are discriminated against for wearing hijabs or head coverings. Very important bill to the Sikh community for wearing beards and turbans, and so many others. It's a bill I'm probably the most proud of. In our community, a tragedy thousands of miles away is often felt by so many in my district. In 2013, for example, I held a press conference and vigil in remembrance and support of the victims of the factory collapse at Rana Plaza in Bangladesh. I provided information about the organizations like Desi's Up and Moving, Drum, and Save the Children, who were engaged in relief and support efforts for the families and victims who were impacted by that disaster. And now, in the shadows of the COVID-19 crisis, when so many are struggling around the world, I wrote a letter to President Biden urging him to donate additional medical supplies to Bangladesh. A pandemic does not recognize borders, and we must do all that we can to protect the most vulnerable populations, both at home and abroad. During past legislative sessions, I sponsored the Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group on their annual Lobby Day in Albany. I've done that for a number of years, pre-COVID, with their dedicated supporters and committed advocacy. The Bangladeshi American Advocacy Group's proven to be an indispensable voice for the Bangladeshi American community. It has been my honor to help strengthen that voice in government. I will continue to do all that I can to promote the welfare of this indispensable constituency. I'm very proud to host only one advisory board in my district, and that's the South Asian American Advisory Board, which meets on a regular basis in my Fresh Meadows office to discuss matters of importance to the South Asian community. And that's a very diverse community, as you know. My district starts on the Nassau border in Glen Oaks and Belrose and goes all the way into central Queens and into Richmond Hill to the west. And I'm pleased to have a second constituency office in addition to the Fresh Meadows office on Atlantic Avenue in Richmond Hill. As a lifelong friend to the Bangladeshi community, I am pleased to celebrate the accomplishments of these wonderful women leaders and entrepreneurs who are being honored here tonight. This year's voters elected the first Bangladeshi women to a civil court judgeship, Soma Syed in Queens County, and to the City Council, in District 39, Shahada Hanif. From fashion to consulting, the influence of Bangladeshi women is an integral part of the story of New York City. And I'm also so pleased to gather with you tonight to celebrate your hard work and accomplishments. Congratulations to all the honorees, and thank you to the U.S. Bangladeshi Chamber of Commerce and Industry for sponsoring this wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for